One of the easiest things to do in this life, especially when we go through tough times, when we don't understand what is happening, the easiest thing to do that doesn't even need any coaching is to grumble. Now, when I look at the scriptures, one of the things that caused many of the children of Israel to die in the wilderness, to fall by the wayside, was because many of them, having left Egypt, became grumblers. They would grumble, complain about everything, the hardships they were going through, complain about the fact that there were no graves in the wilderness, complain about the fact that they did not have water, complain about the food that they were eating, and all kinds of things. They became grumblers. And as a result, God judged them harshly, and they did not see their destiny. They did not come to their inheritance because of grumbling. My name is Mwai, and thank you so much for tuning in, as I want to just challenge you for a few minutes on what I've entitled, Do Not Be a Grumbler. Do not be a grumbler. Like I said, it is so easy to grumble. And all of us have found ourselves there at any one point or the other, where we grumble, especially when things are challenging and we find ourselves complaining and grumbling against this, that, or the other, grumbling against the government, grumbling against that brother, against that sister, against the church, grumbling against even our loved ones, or they did this and they did that. And we can actually find ourselves creating a habit of just becoming grumblers, because grumbling somehow comes very easily for the human heart. It's our default button many times. We grumble, and you can actually grumble about anything and everything, literally speaking. But have you ever noticed from the scriptures that God judged grumbling very harshly? That the children of Israel, while they were in the wilderness, they began to grumble. They grumbled against Moses, complained against, to Moses, and complaining and remembering the cucumbers of Egypt and the garlics and the onions in Egypt and what they thought was a luxury of Egypt, forgetting that even in Egypt they were actually slaves. They were freer in the wilderness than they had ever been. Yet, because of the human heart, they grumbled, and God judged them harshly. I want to encourage you, and I want to just challenge you. Don't be a grumbling. Why? Because number one, grumbling does not attract God's blessing. If anything, God does not listen to complaints and grumbling. God is not tuned. His eye is not tuned to grumbling. His eye is tuned to the cries and the prayers of his people, of the petitions of his people. He does not respond to your complaining and to your grumbling. That means that you miss out on God's best if you are a grumbler. But then secondly, grumbling may attract God's judgment according to the scriptures. And sometimes you may even lose what you thought or things that you had. Why? Because you grumbled. And you find yourself losing out, even things that you are enjoying, your freedom or your joy, you begin losing things out, because grumbling takes away from you. It doesn't add to you. It only takes away some of the blessings that God has already given you. Number three, grumbling will cause you to lose sight of God's blessing in your life. When you begin grumbling, you begin losing sight of the blessings. God has blessed us with many things, but when I begin grumbling and complaining, all I will see is the trouble and the issues around me. I lose sight of all the blessings that God has brought my way. But then I also discovered this, friends, that grumbling will always push people away from me. Nobody likes to hang around people who grumble a lot. Have you ever met people who they're always complaining about this or that? They're always complaining about this. I mean, all that proceeds out of their mouth is grumbling, because grumbling has a way of creating a very bad atmosphere. It creates and attracts depression and conflict and what have you. So you find that people begin to walk away from you. You find yourself becoming more and more lonely. Nobody wants to hang around you because you're a grumbler. I want to encourage you in this year that is ahead of us, please don't be a grumbler. Train yourself instead to find things to be thankful for. Train yourself instead to be a worshiper, to be a praiser. Train yourself instead of grumbling, pray about it. Talk to the Lord about it. And you will find things begin to turn around in your life when you stop grumbling. Please share this message with a brother, with a sister. just hit that share button, and may the Lord bless you even as you stop grumbling.